Hey guys, how's it going? This is Daniel, TheLandMiler, and today we're going to be talking about some important transfer partners in the Canadian loyalty space. If you're new to the channel, I talk about things like credit cards, how to fly around the world in first or business class, so if that's something that's interesting to you, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. If you're playing the points and miles game in Canada, there are some key transfer partners that you need to know about. When I first started out, I was kind of feeling in the dark and didn't know that there were these transfer partners. So I was doing things like redeeming my American Express MR points for a statement credit on food, which is probably one of the worst ways to redeem those points. Today, we'll go over some must-know transfer partners as well as each individual use case. First and foremost, probably the most important transfer partners are between American Express and Aeroplan. Since Air Canada has the majority market in Canadian domestic and international travel, it's probably a good idea to be collecting Aeroplan points. On top of that, in terms of sign-up bonuses, there's almost no card that beats the high bonuses that the American Express Gold or the American Express Business Platinum can bring. American Express Membership Rewards, or MR points, don't really offer outsized value if you use them as is. So for example, if you had 50,000 points, you can transfer that into a $500 travel statement credit. However, this changes when they're transferred into Aeroplan points. American Express membership rewards points can be transferred into Air Canada's Aeroplan at a 1-to-1 ratio. Whether you're looking into a Canadian domestic flight or business or first class internationally, Aeroplan can get you there. If we consider something like the 75,000 bonus points on the Business Platinum card and a flight from Toronto to Vancouver in economy class for 25,000 points, this means that the bonus alone is enough for 3 whole round trips. On the other hand, if you were to use this as a travel credit, you'd only get $750. This difference increases drastically for premium travel. A one-way business class flight from Vancouver to Tokyo costs around 55,000 Aeroplan points. The same flight when booked using cash cost over $3,500. American Express also transfers to other airlines like British Airways Avios at a 1-to-1 ratio, but I'll explain a bit later why I choose Aeroplan for my MR points. The second transfer path is American Express MR Select points and Marriott Bonvoy. MR Select points are a lower tiered MR point that you can find on the American Express Cobalt card and the Business Edge card. The difference between these and the full-fledged MR points you find on the Gold and Platinum cards are that you can't transfer these MR Select points into airline programs. However, you can still transfer into American Express's hotel partners, and Marriott Bonvoy is my program of choice. With this path, you can transfer American Express MR Select points at a 1-to-1.2 ratio into Marriott Bonvoy. Because it is a hotel program, the main use for Marriott Bonvoy points is to redeem at one of their properties around the world. They have an award chart that's split by 8 different categories, as well as seasonal, peak, and non-peak pricing. Marriott also has neat perks like 5th night free, where if you're booking 4 consecutive nights on points, then the 5th night is on the house. If hotels aren't your thing, then the next transfer path is also a good option. Transfer path number 3, we have Marriott Bonvoy and pretty much every airline program. Marriott points are generally used for hotel stays, but you can also transfer Marriott Bonvoy points into almost any airline mile at a 3-to-1 ratio. If you transfer Bonvoy points in 60,000 point chunks, you'll also get a 5,000 mile bonus, so a total of 25,000 for that 60,000 Marriott points. Having this transfer path means that you can consolidate your points if you don't really care about hotels, and you'd rather be transferring it over to your favorite airline program in order to redeem for a business or first class redemption. Because there aren't many credit card products that offer Alaska miles in Canada, I do recommend transferring your Marriott Bonvoy points into Alaska Mileage Plan. If you have a ton of Marriott points, then things like ANA or Virgin Atlantic or any other program that has a good sweet spot is now an option for you to explore. Moving on to transfer partner number 4, we have RBC Royal Bank and British Airways Avios. The British Airways program shines for short-haul travel, but it doesn't really work for traveling domestically in Canada. Personally, I use Avios miles on short-haul travel in Asia on partners like Japan Airlines or Cathay Pacific, or within Europe on British Airways. On top of that, point for point, Avios just doesn't scale well when compared to Aeroplan when you're looking at long-haul premium flying. Because we're using Avios to cover mostly short-haul flights, we naturally just don't need as many Avios as we do Aeroplan or Alaska miles. This is where RBC's Avion program comes in. RBC Avion points can be transferred at a 1-to-1 ratio to British Airways Avios, and they generally have seasonal promotions giving you an extra 30 to 50% in bonus miles. We've also historically seen promotional offers on the RBC Avion Visa Infinite card offering anywhere from 20 to 35,000 Avion points. If you were to stack this with a 50% bonus, you're getting anywhere from 30 to over 50,000 bonus Avios points. If that's not enough Avios points for you, then we have our fifth and final partner. The last transfer partner I wanted to mention is between HSBC and British Airways Avios. HSBC points can be transferred to British Airways at a 25 to 10 point ratio. Last year, HSBC was promoting their World Elite card that had a bonus of anywhere from 100 to 130,000 bonus points depending on where you lived. If you were to transfer that into British Airways, you would get anywhere from 40 to 52,000 Avios points. Similar to RBC, HSBC has also historically had 30% transfer offers, so if you're still holding on to some HSBC points, this might be something to look out for. But before you throw caution to the wind and switch all of your points, here's a quick warning about transferring off your points. Once you've transferred your points to a different program, it's practically impossible for you to transfer them directly back. The reason why I've mentioned the transfer paths that I did today is because these paths generally will be valuable regardless of whether or not you're flying out of the US or Canada. On top of that, each one of these programs have other credit cards that will allow you to collect those points. The exception here is Marriott Bonvoy and all of its different airline programs. So if you're transferring Marriott points into a program where you can't earn those points through a credit card in Canada, then transfer only if you have enough points for a redemption and only when you're planning to make that redemption. For those that are a bit more experienced, I think one of the questions that might come up might be, why didn't you include Asia Miles into your mix? In my opinion, even though Asia Miles has multiple transfer partners, I don't see its award chart being very competitive when compared to Aeroplan, Alaska Miles, or British Airways Avios. Each of these programs do have its own use case, whereas Asia Miles doesn't really fill in the gaps when you compare them case by case. So, what do you think about these top transfer partners in the Canadian loyalty space? If this quick guide helped you out, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel for more content. Thanks for watching. Peace.